for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. If you're up and around, you're out and about, and you want to give us a shout, the number to call is area code 267-687-0026. Once again, that number is area code 267-687-0026. We are gathered here today to discuss the sudden and untimely passing of the man, the myth, the legend, one Kobe Juju Bean Bryant. Joining me on the program today to discuss this and one other topic is my man from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's going on, man?
Well, what's going on is what's going on with everybody else, and I'm doing as well as anybody else can be expected to do under these circumstances. But I'm honored to be on the program, honored to be here with the listeners, and certainly always honored to be on with you.
Oh, appreciate that. And on the other side of the ledger, we got my man from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell them folks what you say.
Everything negative, pressure, challenges, is an opportunity for me to rise.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Yes, and of course you are rocking with Barbershop J. This is the Shop Report. All right, fellas. What a sad day. 3 things I want to mention. 2 of them I will do so now. One of them after everybody's had a chance to have their say. We should be joined by a few other people here a little bit later on. But, of course, as I got my 2 co-hosts on my side, I'm ready to ride. I'm sure by now everybody has seen the video, and surely they know the passing of Kobe Bryant. But it wasn't just Kobe on that helicopter or riding in that helicopter on that fateful day, which is a couple days ago. And I'll say this too, sidebar right quick. When I woke up and I saw the news, I had my phone set to, my TV set to NBA TV. So I get up and I turn it on and I see that they got a still shot of a picture of a guy who it's not a picture of Kobe. It's a picture of some, I don't know if he's a talk show host. I've never seen the guy before. Let me just say it like that. But the name Kobe Bryant, background, whoever, I got some background noise. But the name Kobe Bryant was underneath or next to this guy's name. So I'm still kind of groggy, and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, man, that's ironic. It must be another guy named Kobe Bryant. I said, how ironic is that? Saying he was, he passed. But it didn't really give much more information than that saying he had passed. And I'm like, man, that's odd. Because then I'm seeing this, the correlation, not the correlation, excuse me. I'm saying, how ironic, because I know it's another Michael Jordan. So, I get out, check the grogginess off a little bit, and I'm up for about a good 10, 15 minutes now, and I get to checking all the other little news sites. And I'm saying, man, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. And I'm like, I'm sitting there looking at the screen. I'm like, in disbelief. It's surreal. Now, granted, I didn't know the man, but we got Dre back. My man, DJ Dre Day. Shout yourself out there, young fella. What's happening, Dre? We got you?
I'm here, man. I had put myself on mute because I thought you said you heard some background noise.
Yeah, I did. Yes.
I don't know why I was getting disconnected, man. But somehow Deja was pulling in the yard and my phone was connected to her car radio or whatever.
Oh, gotcha.
But I'm good.
Okay, it's all good. For all y'all who don't know, this is my cousin, DJ Dre Day. Dre, what DJ folks you with? You're not with Nerve DJs, are you?
I'm with them as well, but the Regime Squad.
The Regime Squad, that's right. Well, the man traveled all across the country doing DJ things for folks out there. Yeah, y'all need to look him up. If you want a DJ, you need to check him out. But at the same time, this is the cousin. This is the cousin I've been mentioning to you all on the show a time or two about. Not only is he cut in the shop that I go to, but he went to school with the owner and Charles Oakley. They went to high school together. You know what I mean? So, you know, we've been privy to a lot of folk that come through the shop, you know what I mean? And in particular, he, and, you know, because the folks he cut or whatnot. But like Brother Rich and myself and Double J and many, many folk around the world, this man is a Kobe man. This is Kobe. Kobe was his man. Bone, I call him Bone because we called him Dre Bone growing up. So if y'all hear me call him Bone every now and again, don't just keep we gonna keep it rolling. I've been circulating that picture with you and him. Where were y'all? Were y'all at the Q when you took the folks when you was hobnobbing with Cole, chopping it up with him?
Oh yeah, that was his final game at the Q in Cleveland.
Okay, all right, yeah. Well,
yeah. That wasn't nothing but the higher power above, man. It made that happen, man. Because I was actually trying to get some tickets for that game, and it had sold out. And I was left out in the cold, man. I was like, my last resort was like, okay. I told one of my men, I said, man, you can come on through the crib and watch the game with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't gonna be there. But me and one of my friends, we had already got tickets to go to see him in Chicago because he was on his little farewell tour.
Got you.
And a friend of mine had gotten us tickets to go to his final game, which was in L.A. playing Utah. So I was like, I was, trying my hand, trying to get these tickets, and it fell through. And I just came to the conclusion. I'm like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. So I was on my way home from lunch, and my man called me. He's like, man, I know you're going to the game, and he's just a big Kobe fan as I am. So
yeah.
I'm like, nah, man. I said all my plugs fell through. He was like, man, I might have an extra ticket.
Yeah.
And man, I was like, man, look at here, man. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
He said just be on standby, and he had it for his nephew, but his nephew had fell out with him or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And so he called me back, and he asked me what time I was gonna be ready. I'm waiting for him to call me back to ask to let me know if he's gonna have a ticket for me or not.
Yeah.
He called me back.
Yeah.
And he said, man, what time you gonna be ready? I said, what time you want me to be there? He said, I'll come and get you. I'm like, oh my God, okay, cool. I'm going to the game. I'm going to this last game in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I went from not going to going.
Yeah.
So we stopped at the 9 to see this little documentary that the guy named Branson Wright, which is his cousin, he writes for the Plain Dealer.
Right.
He did a little documentary on this guy. And so we did that. Then we walked over to the queue, and he got us all press passes, man. So we were in the back eating food with Campy Russell and Austin Carr and this, that, and the third. We was having a good time, whatever. So we finally went to our seats to watch the game. We were like way up there where the spotlight guy is.
Yeah.
We was sitting high, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So halftime we went back down, and then they told us that if we wait around a little bit, the people that be in these particular seats, they usually leave, and these was like on the wood.
Yeah.
And so these people left, and they put us in these seats, man. We was like right there, man. The guy taking the ball out of bounds was like right in front of us.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, Kobe, right? Let's go, Kobe. Now I'm hearing the feet squeaking and the whole time. I'm like, wow. I'm thinking I'm supposed to be at the crib watching this right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so at the end of the game, I seen a couple of the plugs that I was trying. I saw my Crump.
Yeah.
Like, man, I wish I could get you back there, man. I can't. My hands are tied. And then I saw Rich Paul.
Listening to Bears radio.
He was like, Dad, Dre, man, it's like a circus back there, man. There's nothing I could do. So I saw my man who got us the press passes, and he was like, he said, what y'all doing, whatever. We seen him with the people that we walked over to the game with. He said, do y'all still got y'all bands on? Which we had these bands on our wrists.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. So he was like, well, follow me. And then that's when we went to the back.
Yeah.
And man, right when I'm walking in the entrance, you know, the entrance that they come out.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm walking in the entrance. Ron Artest walked past me.
Yeah.
And here comes Julius Randle walking past me.
Yeah.
And then we get in the back. And I'm like, oh, man, we in the back.
Yeah,
it was
we in
like
the back.
back there, man.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
I said in the back, huh?
Yeah, we was in the back, like where they congregate before they actually go to the locker room.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so and there was like a whole lot of people back there, man. They had basketballs, T-shirts, and pictures for the basketball players to sign and whatnot.
Yeah. So
it started getting out of control, man, and the security back there was trying to clear the area out. And he told everybody, you know, we gonna have to clear this area. He said, but y'all need to, matter of fact, y'all need to go over to that exit right there where they come outside, where they go to their bus or whatever. So he started clearing us out, and then my man who got us back there, he was like, they with me and my friend who was his cousin. He's like, they with me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, all right, well, y'all stand over to this side. And he said, matter of fact, y'all go stand on that wall right there. Now, that wall right there is the wall that leads to their locker room.
Yeah, got you.
So everybody that was coming out the locker room was walking right past me first.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh snap! I'm supposed to be at the crib watching the game.
Yeah.
To going to the game.
Yeah.
To coming back here I'm about to meet Kobe Bryant, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, man. So everybody came out. LeBron came out. He was with his wife. I seen all the players and coaches, everybody, man, the trainers. I was like, okay, so then last but not least, man, I see some camera crew, and they was walking and following lights and everything, and here come Kobe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my, so here he come right now, dog.
Yeah.
And I was the very first person that he hollered at, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And man, and the crazy part about it is, I've met like hundreds and tons of celebrities in my lifetime, man. And this is like the first time that I've been starstruck, man. And then dude was chopping it up with me, man. He was just extra cool, and that was like a bucket list. That was a bucket list moment for me.
Yeah.
And I scratched it off, man. And the crazy part about it was during the game, my phone had died, so I didn't have a way to take no pictures. But my man had his camera, man.
Yeah.
And that was it, man. So like I said, I went from not going to the game to going to the game to meeting my dude.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Dude, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was how that happened, man. So I say it wasn't nothing but the man above that made that happen, because he know he wasn't coming back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So then from there, man, went to Chicago to see his last game in Chicago. And then my dude flew us out there. We flew out to L.A. for his final game, man, when he poured in 60, man. So that was one of those where were you moments, and I was there.
Yeah, for sure.
I was there, man.
Yeah, they
you know, I'm looking to my right. I see Snoop Dogg going crazy.
Yeah.
I look to my right, out to my left. I see Ice Cube going crazy.
Yeah.
I look over here. I see Jay-Z clowning.
Yeah.
I see Kanye throwing. I mean, it was pandemonium, and it was star-studded, and it was another bucket lister, man. It was incredible. I had a great time, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I do want to add, while you were talking, man, we got two other callers that joined us. Gully, is that you?
Okay.
Gully, is that you?
Hello?
Yeah, 334-8631. Who is that? I don't have your name here. I got your number. 216?
Dad, this is me.
Oh, it's Nasir. What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up, Dad?
What's going on? That's my son, y'all. That's Nasir. Nasir, say what's up to Brother Richard, Double J. Doc, that's you too.
What's up, brother?
Yo, what up, though?
Yeah, and I got Doc on the line too. Yeah. Okay, so I got a few.
Right, man, how are you?
Hold on. I got a few of y'all. I got a few of y'all up here on here. So give me. Well, let me do this one at a time. I need everybody to, if you could, please be detailed in your responses, but also be mindful that other people definitely, of course, want to get in and have they say as well. Before anybody says anything else, let me read off something to you all right quick. And I said I was going to mention two things. The first, in regards to the Kobe, the tragedy. First off, I want to mention, well, it's like 1 and 1A. I want to mention it wasn't just Kobe Bryant. It was his daughter as well. When I heard it was Kobe, I was done. When I heard it was his daughter, I was outdone. And then the other passengers as well. We cannot forget the other passengers as well. The other passengers, I want to mention their names and the victims, involved in this crash. As we mentioned, it was Kobe, of course, and Gianna Bryant, his daughter. But John Altobelli, his wife, Carrie Altobelli, and their daughter, Alyssa Altobelli. Then an assistant coach an assistant with the young lady, Gianna and Alyssa's AAU squad or hoop squad these young ladies all played together on, Christina Mauser. The pilot's name was Ara Zobayan, Zobayan. And then there were Sarah Chester and Peyton Chester, her daughter. So, my condolences go out to the families of everybody involved, because whether or not if you knew the man or did know the man, the way this, I don't know. It's really hard for me to find the words to say right now. You know what I mean? In that this is just tragic. This is just tragic. And the other thing I wanted to mention, it really, really sickens me, really, really disgusts me to see on my Facebook timeline the indignance and the ignorant comments surrounding this man. If you don't like the man or didn't like the man, so be it. But to me, you sound bitter, to be honest with you. But if you only have 1 ounce of humanity, 1 ounce of humanity, you can put that to the side. Let that be a done deal. If not for him, for his daughter, man. For his daughter. I unfriended I don't know how many people, and I'm glad. I'm so glad. Because we don't have time for this, man. I got more time, and we got more time behind us than we do in front of us, for a lot of us. You understand? And I'm going to quote Martin Luther King again, as I've done so on many occasions on this program, on this platform. He himself said, since he's so revered and honored by so many people, like now I'm thinking y'all just paying lip service to the whole thing. We cannot control when we leave here or how we leave here. It is unfortunate. It is. But it lets you know that we're not in control. But the thing that we are in control of is what we leave behind. And we will, on this show, discuss this man's legacy, because he got one. And then the last thing I want to say before I say the last thing, after everybody get done having they say, my cousin, D. Gully, shared a post on Facebook. I thought it was so apropos in this moment. And in response to those people with their ignorant and indignant comments in regards to this man and his passing. And it's the way it happened, too. Her name is Nisha Sims Robinson. And here's what she said. I've seen a lot of posts from people taking issue with the world mourning the loss of Kobe Bryant. Just because you think, and she emphasized you and think, just because you think someone was not a fan does not mean they can't empathize with the loss. Preach. Growing up, for many of us, Kobe was a household name. Whether you were a ball lover or not, you knew the name. I'm not going to repeat that, but I probably should. Furthermore, in reference to public figures, there is no hierarchy of grief. In parentheses, fans first, ball lovers second, bandwagoners third, and so on. For many, this opens up personal grief wounds because they can identify with a tragic, unexpected loss of a spouse, parent, child, and dear friend. They know the dark, heavy, and long days that are ahead of his wife. Excuse me, I got background noise, please. The dark long days that are ahead for his wife, children, parents, and close friends. After we've moved on to the next thing that's sensationalized, their new norm will just be getting started. We should feel empathetic to those that are hurting, no matter who they are. Fold up your soapbox and go hug somebody. Thank you, Miss Nisha Sims Robinson. I immediately let her know I couldn't have said it better myself. Because I'm going to tell you all something. When I was in the shop earlier today, we were discussing this. And Twin, another barber that cuts in the shop, I got whoever's moving around, please help me out. I appreciate you. We were in the shop discussing this. And Twin, again, another barber in the shop, he said in words what I had been thinking about how I was going to approach this in particular and the angle I was going to come from when discussing it in regards to how I view his passing. He said, man, can you imagine? Try to imagine in that moment when Kobe, was looking at his daughter and maybe his daughter was looking at him and there was nothing he could do. That's what jumped out at me because I had a moment like that. And I'll be brief. When my youngest daughter was born, I took my two sons, her older brothers, out to see their baby sister. And if you've ever been in Cleveland or if you know Cleveland, she was born at Cleveland Clinic in Avon, which is far west. We lived on the east side at the time. We were coming back from the hospital. And there's a stretch of 90 east, where they all break off into other arteries, 71, 271, 480, and so on and so forth. But that stretch of highway, especially depending on what time of day you go through there, is always congested. It seems to always be an accident there. And one thing I learned from my father when I was driving, when I first learned how to drive, I started driving, he said, when you're in traffic, he said, one thing I'm going to tell you about driving. He said, don't ever forget this. He said, when you're in traffic and you're around a lot of traffic, he said, you either want to be all the way in front. He said, and if you can't make your way to the front, fall back. He said, because when you have room to maneuver, in case you need to maneuver, you'll have the room you need to maneuver. He said, when you're in traffic, he said, that's where bad things happen, when folks all of a sudden want to do this or that. And it has served me well. I will say that. It has served me well throughout all my driving years. In this particular case, on this particular day, I knew the time I hit that section of freeway, I had to get a jump on air. I had to get out in front of everybody because it was starting to come. There was a semi-truck to my right. I was in one lane, and this semi-truck was off to my right. I saw out the corner of my eye, I saw the front of his cab, and I saw him getting ready to try to get in my lane. He was trying to slide in behind me. But he did it too fast, because before I could step on the gas a little bit more and give him room to climb in behind me, he clipped the right rear quarter panel of the car I was driving. And I promise you, my right hand, and my son can attest to this. I don't mean for you to relive this, Nasir, but I got to say this in this instance. You okay with that?
I will be.
Okay, yeah. Okay. He clipped the right rear quarter panel of the car. And the back of the car went in the air like they do on NASCAR. I had no control over the car at all. And as the car went in the air, it didn't just go in the air, it was spinning. And it was making its way toward a concrete barrier that we have here. And in that moment that it went in the air, I've been in accidents before and grateful to still be here to tell, to talk about it. But I had never had nothing like that happen to me. And as the car was spinning, I looked in the back seat and I locked eyes with my son who's on the line with us today. And his eyes said to me, you got to save us. And in that moment, I didn't know if I could. I knew it didn't have nothing to do with me. If we made it out of that, it didn't have nothing to do with me. I had no control over the car. The car hit the concrete median at least 5 times, and it bounced back and forth between. It was so. Listen. When we finally came to a stop, went all the way back across the highway and rested on the grassy median. Man, I was holding on to that steering wheel for so long because I was expecting somebody else to hit us. Because at one point throughout the spinning, the car was facing oncoming traffic, and it was rush hour. Now, you believe in whatever you want to believe in. You believe in whoever you want to believe in, or you don't believe in whatever you believe in. That's on you. But I'm telling you right here and now, I'm grateful. And it saddens me because I cannot stop thinking about those people, everybody, how it happened, but in that moment, he's helpless to help his child, man.
Hey, James, can I interject real quick, and then you can keep going?
Please.
And I don't know, I hadn't heard this, but one of my friends just called. Well, I just got off the phone with one of my friends about a half hour ago, and this is what he told me. He heard, I guess, online or whatever. He said that when they found the bodies, she was in his arms. So
it's not true. It's not true, and don't say it. It's not true. That
it's
is
not
absolute. They made that up. That's not true. And let me say this: that this
is that
the
right?
time to say,
Okay. That's why I said I didn't hear that.
That's not true.
Okay.
That's not true. She was not in. And let me say this. I want to say this.
But go ahead, and Brother Rich,
just to bring a little.
No, Brother Rich, go ahead.
Clarity to this.
And now I'm bringing it around to everybody now. To go ahead and have they say. I appreciate y'all, letting me get that out. Now, Sir, you'll get a chance to talk as well, but we're gonna start with Brother Rich. Brother Rich, go ahead, have your say, man.
Well, this is I want to talk about Kobe, and really I feel it's an obligation to talk about what it meant, and what it means to be a Kobe fan, and I want to be specific on that. A Kobe fan. Not a Laker fan, not necessarily a basketball fan, but to have become an admirer and an ardent supporter of Kobe. And remember that to be a Kobe fan was and is that you had to survive the cockiness of Kobe and the media's pushback on Kobe in his early career. You had to survive the breakup with Shaq. You had to survive all the negative things that were said about him and still yet be a Kobe fan. And those of us who are Kobe fans and are passionate Kobe fans, those are the times that we bonded with Kobe through the trial in Colorado. Mm-hmm. And we kept focused on Kobe as an enigmatic figure, sure, but as a supreme talent. And that Kobe as a supreme talent was unlike anything we had ever seen before. And even those of us who saw Jordan saw something in Kobe that we could yet identify with, that Kobe was even closer to us. And Kobe inspired us in the way that Jordan really did. Jordan was something almost supernatural when he came. But Kobe, there was something about Kobe, and when he fell and we saw his humanity and his flaw, he became an iconic figure even more so to those of us who are flawed and who are in touch with our flaws. So to be a Kobe fan then meant to withstand the people putting up numbers and using analytics to even diminish Kobe's contribution to the game of basketball, while yet the players and other people who looked at Kobe and understood what Kobe meant to the game continued to support him. The last thing I'll say on this is there are a lot of things going on and being talked about with Kobe and what happened. There's a lot of speculation. The good man, Dre, is on the phone, and I'm so honored to hear your voice. I hate that we're talking over this medium in this way at this time about this particular subject, because I know that you, like us, are day ones with the Kobe, being Kobe supporters and being ardent admirers of Kobe. So Kobe, there's a lot yet unknown, but there are some things that are known. And one thing that is known, we can tell you for fact that there was some serious cloud cover. The marine layer was thick. And those people and those of us who know something about helicopter travel understand that this accident, and it was an accident, as all we know by all the facts that are in, these things happen in the blink of an eye.
Yes.
So let's not worry about and wonder about what happened in the last moments, because that only makes it more and more difficult and painful, because we weren't there. What we know is that they are not here anymore, and we just going to celebrate the greatness of who and what he and they represented.
For sure. For sure. Big stuff, man. I appreciate that. Double J, go ahead, man. How you say? Nasir, Doc, we'll get to y'all in a minute.
Well, I'm going to take a different angle on this because to your point, Jay, when you understand the circumstances and we hear now that, unfortunately the pilot had missed by 20 or 30 feet, but that's not even – I would have died twice that day, as you mentioned, as a parent, and being powerless. Especially I'm no superhero, as is, but many would have considered Kobe Bryant to be superhuman. So naturally, especially as a parent to look in your child's eyes at that moment, there probably isn't anything more difficult in those types of circumstances. However, we kind of emphasize that his celebration, what he did on the court, to me, yes, it was incredible and impressive. But what he was doing the post-career, because we got to remember here, it was Dwayne Wade that retired more recently than Kobe did. And so this isn't somebody that we just recently, we're so accustomed to seeing on an NBA floor. Instead, we were seeing the human side of Kobe, bringing his mentality to a more relatable, an even more relatable way that we as adults that have grown up with him have seen how to model being an active parent. Again, building that venue, having those teams were not things that Kobe had to do. Those were things that Kobe wanted to do.
Indeed.
And with the intent of creating moments and memories with his daughter and daughters. And so when I look at it and I think of, him on a Sunday morning is no different than myself on a Saturday or Sunday, along with millions of other people around this country and around the world.
Indeed.
Taking our kid to, it could be soccer, basketball, you name it, but just spending time with them, attending a service on a Sunday morning prior. These are all very human elements that when, we oftentimes on this program, we explain that the human element is often forgotten. People, especially from the fans.
Thank you.
They think of these guys almost like video games.
Thank you.
That they come in, they play, and then they show up for the next one.
Yep.
And as we've been able to see and witness through Kobe Bryant, he was a model, a perfect model for how to carry yourself, and it's why he didn't just achieve success at an athletic level, but he was doing it on the entrepreneur side of things.
Yeah.
So there was a lot to be taken away from that. And he was a great ambassador for not only the game of basketball, but for soccer as well. That's why you've seen the type of response that you have internationally. And so that, in my opinion, is why we're all here today, because we, as Dee had mentioned, he had the pleasure to meet him, but in my case, I didn't have that opportunity.
Right.
But yet, my heart got ripped out,
Yeah.
just as each of us have, because of our own individual connection to someone like Kobe Bryant.
For sure.
And so, again, my heart, lastly, I do want to recognize the other people that were on, that helicopter with them, because now you have kids that are growing up without parents or without siblings, and it regardless of prestige or notoriety, that pain for them is going to be the same.
For sure, man. Good stuff. Nasir, do you want to say something? Doc, I'll get to you in a second. I appreciate your patience.
You good, man? Just enjoying the show, bro.
Yeah. Nasir, you want to say something?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know as much as basketball as y'all do, but just me remembering Kobe, he was like a LeBron for not LeBron. He was like a Michael Jordan for me when I was younger. And to see him turn out this way, it's devastating because he was, I don't know how to put it, because
take your time.
Kobe, Kobe was I will say he had a different style of play than everybody else did. Cause I watched most of his games. I didn't watch all of his games. I watched most of them. And for just me to hear sad news about it, it's just I can't even wrap my head around. I can't wrap my head around this turning out this way because I remember all the times when me and Khalil used to sit up, stay up and watch all the games with you.
Yeah.
And, and I remember a 60-point game that he had, and I think that was the last game. I think that was one of the last games that he played. And when I found out about it, I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't even move because it just couldn't sit right with me because just thinking about his name, just even hearing his name, just brings me to tears because Kobe was like a player that everybody grew up with, grew up watching, grew up seeing, and I enjoy watching him play. I really did. And for me to look at all the stuff on social media, I can't believe that. I cannot believe that he's gone. And for his daughter too, I don't know. His daughter was better than all of us, better than me, Khalil, and I could see that his daughter was going places. And I saw on Instagram a post. It was like she had a jersey on a chair that said UConn because somebody was like she dreamt of going to UConn, and it's heartbreaking to see both of them just go out and just pass on like that. I mean, just thinking about me and Khalil still can't get our heads wrapped around it. That he really gone. But Kobe really was he was a player who made you sit on the edge of your seat and just be like, wow. Because for me, like I said, I don't know much about basketball as y'all do, but I will say this: Kobe had more potential than most of the players in the NBA today. Because to be honest, I think Kobe really changed the way of how most NBA players play today. If you look at LeBron, he kind of changed the way LeBron plays too. But for me, I just want to end it by saying his legacy will always be carried on, right?
Yes.
At least that was what LeBron said.
Yes.
And another thing. And I think that they should change the NBA logo.
We're gonna get it.
Jerry Weston, I think that we should have it.
Yeah.
Jerry Weston had his time, and I think it's time to give it to somebody else. And to give it to a dude like Kobe, and plus now that the All-Star game coming up, everybody should wear 24 and 8.
Yeah.
I don't care what team wears 24, what team wears 28, and all of them should have like Bryant on the back of their jersey or something that resembles Kobe. Because Kobe was a dude. He played with everybody. If you think about it, because Kobe. And this. You don't have to know a lot about basketball to know about Kobe, right?
All right.
Cause Khalil told me the other day, he was like, because anybody can just say Kobe and out of nowhere, you just know who he is. You don't even have to be a basketball addict. You just know who he is when somebody say his name. And for him to and for everybody to be like that, that really says something about Kobe, because he was known worldwide. Like everybody in the whole world knew who he was. Right? Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And just for him, just to pass away like that, that brings everybody. It broke us all down. I'm not even wrong.
That's for sure.
And act like it didn't, because it did. Because when I first found out about it, I was like, nah. I'm like, somebody was just probably messing around, just wanted to get famous off of something that wasn't true. But when I saw it on the Shade Room, saw it on ESPN, Fox 8, ABC News, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't even imagine what everybody was thinking on that helicopter. And I do send my condolences to everybody's families. You know, I really do, because I mean, there was if I'm not mistaken, I believe there was on. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe they was on their way to a basketball camp or something like that.
Yeah, it was I think it was an AAU thing, AAU team that his daughter played on. Yeah.
And just for them to.
No, I was gonna say, I know your brother want to say something too, but we got to get somebody else. I'm gonna let my man Doc speak too. That was very well said, Nasir. All right.
I just want to say your son is very smart for having grown up in a cowboy household. You're a very sharp young man.
Really? You gonna really, Brother Rich? You just what, Brother Rich? I should mute you for real, man. I cannot believe you turned this into that, man. You definitely get a strike for that. You getting a strike. You get 2 strikes. You know, like Denzel told his son, don't strike out. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Doc, man, I appreciate your patience, man. Go ahead and have your say. We got my man, the DOC, on the line. What's up, man?
Good, man? I'm still hurting, and I can't believe it. Like, you can ask Double J, man. I've been talking to him about this for the past few days now. Like, I've been watching nonstop Kobe highlights. I've watched Dear Basketball just about enough to where I can quote the whole thing. Like, I grew up watching Kobe. When I first started liking basketball, I was that guy. I was screaming Kobe. Didn't really know who he was, but just watching him play made me want to get out of the hoop court. I mean, I might not have been that great, but watching that guy play, I felt like I could do anything, man. Then listening to him speak about how you should handle certain situations and how we all go through pain and we can't succumb to that pain. We got to overcome it. Like, those lessons that he gave on the court, you can take with you and, use with you outside of the court and use it in real life. Like, don't let anything hold you back or stop you from becoming the person you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I respected Kobe so much, because his lessons were more than just on-court lessons. They were actually life lessons that you can take with you anywhere you go. And there's not a lot of basketball players that's out here like that. Like, Kobe was all about the WNBA. He was one of the main advocates, like, let's get them more money, let's get them better, they need their fair share.
Sure was.
Like, this was the guy. Like, Kobe was that guy that anybody could come to for advice. Like, it doesn't matter if you want to advice on court, advice off the court. Kobe was the guy that would sit and talk to you. You know what I mean? And he influenced a lot of players. I mean, D. Wade, Paul George, LeBron James, like, the list goes on and on. A lot of these stars wouldn't be who they are today if it wasn't for Kobe.
Yes.
I'm not saying they wouldn't be in the NBA, but they wouldn't have that drive that they have. Like, they don't have the Kobe killer instinct, but that's something you're born with. But he helped them to become better players at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, his lessons carry on off the court. Like, the work he did with his girls' basketball camp, and even the work he did with some of the girls in the WNBA. He wasn't even a coach, but those girls turned to Kobe like he was like a father figure,
Yeah, man.
And losing Kobe, like I said, I felt like I lost a brother, man. Like, I never got a chance to meet him. I had jerseys. I used to watch all his highlights. I used to do a fake, turnaround jump shot, Kobe
Yeah.
all in the backyard. Like that, I was that kid, man. I was that kid.
Yeah.
And it's like when I heard the news, a tear dropped. I'm like, I don't even know this guy, but I'm sitting here crying like we've been best friends since I was born. But that's how it feels when you grow up watching somebody for that long just be dominant on the basketball court. And to be a Laker fan, and I just felt like I was connected to Kobe, even though I didn't know Kobe.
Yeah.
He's gonna be missed for sure.
That's for sure. Man, that's good stuff, man. It was good stuff from everybody, man. I'm glad y'all all joined me on the program today, man, because this is definitely something that needed to be discussed. When I first saw it and realized it was him, man, Brother Rich and Double J, those are my two co-hosts, my main co-hosts. They'll tell you, I didn't have the energy really to do the show, and they the ones that prodded me. They was like, man, how can we not do something? And this man went out, he just gone tragically. And I said, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna do something here. But I'm gonna say this too, right quick, man. And then Dre, I'm gonna come to you because I got a couple questions that I put together. I'm gonna ask everybody. And again, if you would be mindful that there's other people that do, want to have a say. So again, be detailed, but let's let everybody get a shot to go around this thing. This dude, man, it's his legacy, and his impact on the game. And I want to ask, because I'll save what I just thought about. I'll save it for a little bit later. Dre, I'm coming to you. I'm asking you, can his impact on the game really be measured?
No.
Bro, I didn't know that was. I thought you were still talking.
No.
I didn't know if that was. I thought you had something to add to the question.
No. I was asking you.
I thought you had I thought you were going to say something like, "Can it be measured by statistics or something like that?"
And that's fine.
Can it be measured?
That's because I know it's kind of ambiguous.
That was the reason for my delay. Say that. Now say it again, James.
I'm basically saying, can his impact on the game, can it really be measured in totality? I mean, can you really? Let's say, okay. Can you measure it in statistics? Because I'm just saying, and I did that purposely because I just don't see how do you measure it? How do you measure it if it can be measured?
It's difficult, man, because the DNA that was instilled in him.
Thank you.
Is very rare, man. It's just not in these guys today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's that will. It's that will to not give up, man. The will to not lose over the will to win. You know what I'm saying? These guys don't have that in their DNA. And I think a lot of them, or some of them, which studied him, since their childhood, or grew up watching him or whatever. A lot of them, they try to take that from him. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that, man, what he was blessed with, the DNA that he was blessed with, man, a lot of guys just don't have that, man.
That's good
so
stuff.
it's hard to measure him by that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just difficult, because they don't have that.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that way, because that's kind of where I was leaning when I wrote the question. I was like, man, you can't. I'm just going to leave it right there. You know what I'm saying? And see who's going to fill in the blank for me. Doc, we're going to come to you next, man. Can Kobe's impact on the game really be measured?
No, it can't. It can't. There's going to never, ever be another like Kobe, man. You can't measure or compare Kobe. Like, it's Kobe, dog. Like, there's never going to be another. I mean, people can try all they want. They can say, I got the Mamba mentality, but you truly can't have the Mamba mentality because you're not the Mamba.
Yeah.
It's like, that's one of those things where the only way you can be a black Mamba or even have that mentality is if he's your father. And it's sad that his daughter, the one who he said had that killer instinct. I mean, I watched her highlights. She was a dog on and off the court, man. Like, she was a beast. And it's like I said, unless you have that in your DNA, it's just not going to ever happen. You can get close, but it's never going to happen. There's never going to be another Kobe. There's no measuring up to what he did for the game of basketball. There's never going to be another like him. Like, Kobe is Kobe, and that's the end of that. Like, there's never going to be another one,
For sure.
even close to Kobe's legacy.
For sure. Double
Yeah,
J, go ahead.
Dad,
Yes.
can I say something real quick?
Yes, you can. You know, you got you know it's getting late in the tooth for you, young man. But go ahead. You can say what you got to say.
I
Did
know,
you do your homework?
Yes, actually, yes, I did.
That's too many yeses. I got to check it.
Whoever said who just got done talking, I agree, because like it's the same concept as it's not going to be another Jordan, no other Larry Bird, no other Magic, you know, because like you like you said, you can try, but you know you won't succeed because those people are just way more better than the other people that can try to be like LeBron. Because remember how when he first went into the league, everybody called him a bandwagon for having his number.
Mm-hmm.
Like and everybody and even LeVar Ball said that his son Lonzo was better than Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna be the next Steph Curry. Steph Curry is Steph Curry. Lonzo Ball is Lonzo Ball. It's the same concept as Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is always gonna be Kobe Bryant. Nobody gonna be like him. Nobody will. So it's a win-win situation. But that I just want to say that.
And you did good. I just want to let
like a young man that attended one of the best private schools in Dallas.
Again, Brother Rich, you got one. Listen, you got one more time, man. This ain't no funny time circus moment, man. Stop playing. You know what? You going see that? This is what I see. Y'all see what I deal with now, right? Y'all see what I deal with. Ever since his rented mule, ever since his rented mule got put in the shop, you know what I mean? He been coming at my neck extra hard, but it's cool though. I just wanted to point, you know what I mean? 3 mules for Brother Richard and Sister Sarah. Yeah, I just wanted to point out right quick to you all that my son, that's one of my sons, Nasir, his favorite player is Steph Curry, by the way. Double J. Can Kobe's impact on the game really be measured?
No.
It's
as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, there's too many layers to this.
Mm-hmm. Too many layers.
And for that reason, I don't believe it can. I've never seen it. To my knowledge, and in my lifetime, I've never seen anything like that. And until there's something or someone that either draws some very serious similarities and consistency, I won't even entertain it.
Yeah. Brother Rich, same thing. Can his impact on the game really be measured?
I concur with all the assessments so far. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have a player who has transcended just basketball. They will forever be, we will know what this represents, Mamba mentality. You have players in the NBA that are willingly on their own deciding they're going to change their jersey numbers. They're going to change the names that they use, the language they use, all in honor and respect of this player who, even though they knew Jordan, they grew up admiring Kobe Bryant. They grew up wanting to be like Kobe Bryant. They grew up in other sports, like Double J said earlier, soccer, tennis, golf, baseball, no matter what it was. They are Mamba mentality adherents in all of these different segments of societies, professional world, in commercial life, no matter where you are, people are into and respect and honor the Mamba mentality. So to measure him in terms of just a basketball player or some number or analytically, I think would be robbing the game, would be robbing his legacy. And that's why
an insult, maybe?
How do you honor such a legacy?
Do you think it would be?
Hold on, James. I didn't hear the last part that Brother Richard said. I didn't hear the last part that he said. Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
And people are And that's why people are wondering, how do you honor such a legacy? What do you do? How do you enumerate what he's done? You can't list it just in numbers. So what do we do? So people are talking changing the name of the Staples Center to the Kobe Center. People are talking about changing the Figueroa Boulevard Street that the arena is on to honor Kobe. People are talking about the logo.
Right.
People are talking about the MVP trophy, because this man was more than he just a basketball player.
Yeah, you know what
Right, I agree.
You know what I appreciate the dude because we've had this conversation on more. I got a little background noise. Appreciate you. We've had this conversation on more than one occasion about the player coach accountability thing, but that's what drew me to the dude. Man tears Achilles and he's still at the free throw line. He gonna hit these free throws. It's his respect for craft, man. That's why when they, folks be having these comparison debates and all of that, for his name to not even come up or they downplay his name, it's laughable to me, man. It's laughable to me. Tony Allen said, when I came to play Kobe, man, I'm bringing everything I got. And Kobe said, man, yeah, Tony Allen, yeah, that's I like that guy, because I know when I go against him, it's gonna be a battle royale. But that's how I want it. That dude was accountable. He held himself accountable to take his game. They said, man, when other dudes be, kicking it, you know what I mean, for the summer, and Kobe talking about this. Matter of fact, Iverson said when they was at, I was like, was it an All-Star game or something? Iverson was like, they was like afterwards. Iverson was like, where we going? I'm going to the club. Hey, I was like, I'm going to the club. Hey, Kobe was like, I'm going to the gym. Who doing that?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm going.
Kobe Bryant is your favorite player's favorite player.
Thank
Remember
you.
That. Kobe Bryant is your favorite player's favorite player.
Come on, man.
That's right.
Come on,
and
man.
The thing that kills me, man, is people always want to try to compare. They just want to compare numbers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be
yes.
MVP trophies or scoring titles or the points. But see, they fail to realize that he came in the league not starting. He didn't even start his second year. He was so popular that he started in the All-Star game without starting for the Lakers, but he wasn't getting that time, that superstar time, and he accomplished what he accomplished. And then, after he went through his transgressions, the voters and whatnot was hating on him the years that he should have won an MVP. Not knowing, not considering the fact that at the end of the career, that's going to count. All he got is one. Which I felt like the one that they gave him was lightweight. He deserved it, but it was like consolation. Like, we can't let this guy go through his whole career without getting no MVPs. How would that look?
And they do that.
Speaking of MVP, the year Steve Nash won, Kobe should have won that. They robbed Kobe and gave it to
Yes.
Steve
And
Nash
Dirk,
was not
and
the
Dirk.
MVP that year.
Yes.
And Dirk.
Yes. And listen, and don't get it
He
twisted.
had three at least.
Don't get it twisted. They do that now. They do give out consolation prizes. Now, don't get it behind the scenes stuff like, yeah, well, it's his turn. But you ain't giving it to the guy who done really earned. But anyway, yeah, got you. Yeah, Dirk's year too. And I like
then
Dirk.
On top of that, like you just said, James, when he hurt his Achilles, I mean, they don't factor in all the times that he missed half the season or a whole season or playing with broken fingers and
I was about to say, he
messed up
dislocated
ankles
his finger
and stuff like that.
right back in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and still accomplishing what he accomplishing and doing, playing through that pain. He played through the whole finals with a broken finger, man, and won.
Yeah, come on now.
But they want to.
Hold on. One at a time.
Numbers.
One at a time. Go ahead, finish, Dre. What you saying? No, finish. What you saying?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm on mute. Go ahead.
Okay, it's all good. Brother Rich, go ahead. What was you going to say?
The only thing I was just going to support his point by saying this. This is why I opened up by saying my thing is, people have to understand what it meant to be a Kobe fan. I was saying to some people here in LA the other day that it's a difference being a Kobe fan because of what Dre is talking about, because that's how you had to defend Kobe, because in the midst of him doing all of this, All people were focused on was something that was allegedly going on in Colorado. When it was going on, people were calling him snitches. In the barbershops, there were people who may be Kobe, who may be saying they're down with Kobe today, but they weren't saying that then. They were saying Kobe was a snitch, and Kobe this, and he got Shaq traded, and he's a gunner, and he's this. Then he went through a period where he didn't have a winning team, and he had to build a team with some young players, and he got Paul Gasol, and he got Lamar Odom, and listen to those players, how they talk about him today. And this is why I'm saying Kobe Bryant is your favorite player's favorite player. The last thing I'll say, not to name drop, it's just a fact. Some of you on the line know this is the truth. Shaquille O'Neal, who I happen to know, he told us, a small group of us, that all the players in the NBA at that time knew that Kobe Bryant was better than Michael Jordan. You're hearing people say it today. Some people are going to admit it. Basketball-wise, some people saw him as a more polished, a more finished version of Michael Jordan. Yes, he did take everything Michael Jordan did. Who do you learn from but the best? Why would you go study somebody who's not the best? So if this was his principal, now we're learning their relationship, what kind of relationship Michael and Kobe had. This was his principal student. This was the one he could look at and say, look at him. He copied all my moves. He sure did, and he just took it to another level.
But Brother Rich, let me say this right. Let me say this right quick, please. Just let me remind everybody once again. I don't see us getting to our other topic. And I kind of thought that when I was putting this together, because I just didn't see how you could go from this to something else. So I'll have to go back and do my editing, and because I've already typed stuff up and put it on Facebook. I'll just apologize to people and let them know we'll try to do that other topic for next week, because I think it's relevant as well. But to your point, Brother Rich, let's not forget now, okay, you mentioned the case he was going through, right? I don't condone that and whatever going on with that. You know what I mean? We all human. Okay, I wasn't there. I don't know that part, but I do know this. I done been in courtrooms before, not happy about it. Right? It's a level of stress mentally on you. See, because you feel like it's you against the system. Okay, but to come out, I know every time after and it wasn't no whole lot of times. Let me make that clear. But I can count on one hand the times I have come up out of a courtroom, man, I'm loosening up my collar. You know, it was high. This dude come and then what he go for? 40,000, 60, 400?
Every
29.
He did absolutely.
You see what I'm trying to tell you?
Got on a private plane, flew back to every game, and scored 40 points. The most 40-point game at that point in time in his career in succession. He was doing that every night.
Yeah,
this is what we're talking about.
But listen,
this is kind of a mentality and attitude we're talking about.
Listen, but I say that and I emphasize this: to have the mental fortitude, because we all know, we've seen cases now where what he was up against, what you are as a star, basketball, otherwise, is irrelevant. Okay? It could have been. You feel what I'm saying? To have to deal with that mentally, like, oh, man, and then to come out and put up what he did and put up. And I'll say one other thing, too, right quick, and then we're going to announce. We got my man D. Gully from the CO Alum Bus on the line. Gully, what's up, man?
Thank you for allowing me to be in this show.
I cannot hear you, man. You sound garbled.
I'm so sorry.
We got Patrick Mahomes on the line or what?
I don't know. Do we got Patrick Mahomes on the line? Yeah, you got to fix that, man, because you sound.
Hey, put that young smart guy from Dallas, the young smart brother from Dallas. Where's he at? Put him back on the line.
You know what? I'm sick of you, man. Yeah. Who is that?
Is this any better for you guys?
Yeah, that's much better. But let me say this. Let me say this right quick, Gully, before you weigh in. We kind of long in the tooth now. Of course, we talking about my man Kobe and the past, untimely and unfortunate passing of him, his daughter, and a few other passengers, as well as the pilot, of course, who was a passenger too, I suppose, in the helicopter crash. Remember now, on that Olympic squad, go down the list of names, all the household names. Like Dre, you pointed out, everybody want to compare the numbers and this and that. Go down the list of all the household names that everybody want to use their numbers and say they better than everybody else who ever did whatever was done. But that Olympic squad that year, without Kobe, wouldn't have won. Huh?
Right.
When he went, and here's the killer part, how many points was that Olympic squad up, and he was still playing defense? Lockdown D. And they was like, dude, we up 30. He was like, man, have a seat. I got to get, because he understood, man, that's why I emphasize player accountability. That's why it means so much to me. He understood and embodied, I'm not taking no plays off. You understand? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. That's why he is who he is. You understand? And all these other cats, they nice, but they imposters, if you ask me. Huh? I remember the game. I remember the game when he missed his first couple of shots or whatever it was, and Shaq was in foul trouble, and folks was kind of sniggering and laughing. Like, yeah, who is this young dude to be taking these kind of shots? But he had that look on his like it's all good. Laugh now, cry later. You know what I'm saying? Huh? And they all this talk about Scottie Pippen. No disrespect to Pip. I watched him in Central Arkansas. I get it. Pip was Pip. But if I'm not mistaken, how many times have we already talked about, or how many times have we mentioned on this program about that Blazers team? I got feedback. Come on, y'all, help me out. About that Blazers team.
Hey, let me say this in regards to that, and to back up again what Brother Richard said about what it really, really, really means to be a Kobe fan, and the things that you have to do to defend him. You know, like you said, in the barbershop and elsewhere, man. But think about, and this is the thing, they always say Shaq carried him to them 3 titles, but not recognizing and realizing that he carried them to the finals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kobe carried them to the finals. And then once they got to the finals, when they got through Tim Duncan and all these rough guys, they was the centers that Shaq was facing was trash.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're supposed to feed the big man and dominate the whole thing. But they failed to realize, they failed to mention the fact that Kobe was scoring 40 against Tim Duncan and David Robinson, you know what I'm saying, and these guys en route to the final. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, then to act like he was ML Carr waving the towel and cheering him on, but when he was averaging 25 and 26 and 7, 8, you know, in the finals.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just be like, man, miss me like we playing dodgeball in the Matrix, man. I'm not trying to hear it.
But you know what else, Dre? And this is not no LeBron knock, because it ain't about him. Because I appreciate some of the stuff he had to say as well about carrying the legacy on. That's kudos to him for that. This is just for them people who want to have these debates. Them same people who would be dismissive or not acknowledge or get amnesia when it comes to what Kobe was averaging to get them to the finals. Be them same folks that talk about the triple doubles that Bron averaged on the way to the finals, or you see what I'm trying to tell you, or in the finals or whatever. So I'm like, so one is right for one, but it ain't right for the other one. That's bass backward logic. Gully, go ahead, have your say right quick, man.
But the thing of the matter is, if they like you, it's a park, but if they don't, it's a ball spot. Keep going.
Yeah, Gully, go ahead, man. Yeah,
there's a lot to say. I think there's a lot to be said that you guys even have already said, but I will say this. I think a little while ago I was hearing about, you know, comparison to comparison or parallels between Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant. I would say that certainly, again, going back to the idea of the shot charts that we've seen, Steph Curry and what he did to the current state of basketball, he redefined the way the game is played, but Kobe Bryant and his legacy and the mentality and how it pervades sports and probably sports culture and pop culture. He defines how the game should be played. That sort of intensity, that unwilting, unrelenting intensity. Right. And I start to understand now the idea that perhaps his persona or his willingness to be considered a ball hog during the time between after Shaq leaving and them struggling, him struggling through the playoffs, being bounced out up 3-1 versus the Suns up until, they acquired Paul Gasol. And then after that team had sort of matured and that dynasty had left. And the idea that Kobe Bryant was considered a ball hog, perhaps it was a case where, again, because of that Mamba mentality, his unrelenting ability to stay up and prepare for the game was a case of, I'm not going to allow anybody who hasn't put the work in to try to make, to try to create or make importance on this team. So I'd risk being a ball hog because they know I deserve to take these shots, because where were you, when we needed to practice or when we needed to develop or when we needed extra time before game time, before show time, to get in before we went on this road trip, before we went through this 3-game homestand, before we went through this losing streak. So the idea that he became a ball hog, I think, is just a case of him cementing the fact that I'm going to carry this team the way I do because I put the work in.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, that idea of Kobe Bryant is going to be forever lasting. Again, it pervades so many things about our culture, not only just basketball, but life. Like, there's so many lessons to put that you can apply to that, that mentality. Lastly, real quickly, I know a lot has been made about the fact that, there was a crash and 9 people lost their lives. Among those is Kobe Bryant and his daughter. And I think some people are lamenting the fact that we're seeing Kobe Bryant and others died. But the thing about it is, we as people, the way people sort of have to get the cues about how important life is. When we call someone a star, what do stars do? I mean, if you think about a star, like the sun is the closest star in our galaxy. Stars are how the sailors navigated, or how people can map how they navigate across the country or across the world. That's how we got around. That's our light. So if we talk about a star or entertainer or a star, certainly what happened to him is used as a guide. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is, because he was a star, it doesn't make anyone's life more or less important,
right.
But we all knew him collectively. So that collective example of, I didn't talk to my daughter for 2 weeks. Kobe Bryant and his daughter died, and no one expected it. Perhaps I need to get my stuff together. It makes perfect sense, because stars, again, guide us. If the stars physically did, the metaphorical stars that we make and we create for ourselves guide us as well. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Brother Richard, to your point, what you said a little earlier, why this arguably people say that he could be better than Jordan, is for one reason and one reason only. And this is no disrespect to Mike, but I understand why people say that, because Mike was known to be a partier. Okay? Now, he did go to practice and do his things or whatnot, you know what I mean? But in those moments where Mike might have been the partying type deal, Kobe was practicing. Kobe, it was serious for that dude, man, because it was not just about basketball. It was about competition. It was about, I got to come out here and see you, and I just want to let you know that what I had to do to get here, because this footage of him when he was how old, 12 years old, playing, when his father was in the NBA, of course, Jelly Bean.
Right.
He was playing against cats, overseas already. He was a little kid. His socks didn't even fit. You know what I'm saying? So he had his approach was as an approach should be to, like Gully's point, basically, everyday life, man. You got to go and get it, and what you got to do to be able to go get it. You know what I mean? When you sleeping at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm already. What you mean? I done already hit 1,000. Where you at? You know what I mean? And then lastly, I don't have this. Well, I got the Sports Illustrated somewhere. I can't find it. I ain't gonna say I don't have it right in front of me, because I don't. But I can't find it, to be honest with you. But I got a Sports Illustrated, because I collect Sports Illustrated slams. You know what I mean, over the years. And I got this article. There's a one with Kobe on the front. I think after they won in 2010. Didn't they win in 2010? Yeah, that senior moment. But Was Brian Shaw on the? Let me ask you this: was Brian Shaw on the 2010 team? Right? Brian Shaw was on the 2010 team.
He was.
Okay, okay, it was 2010.
I thought he was an assistant coach at that time.
I don't know. I thought he was a player.
Yeah, that's why he was, but he was on a team.
Okay.
He was. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, but he was with the Lakers. Let's just say it like that.
coach.
Okay.
Well, but he was with the squad. Yeah, he was an assistant,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever the case may be, when he talked about, and he talked long about practices with the Lakers and Kobe, and they would be out there practicing with him, doing their thing. But when it was over with, they was ready to go home. They said, man, he said, Brian Shaw said, man, this dude was so serious about it, man. His wife used to have to bring his dinner to the gym. She had to bring his dinner to the gym, man. Huh? That's putting in work. See, when we talk about go to the gym and put in, yes.
Can I just say, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it a time where he missed his free throws, and he was so dedicated that he took his pajamas with him to the gym and stayed all night long just practicing free throws all by himself? I don't know.
I don't know about that. Dre or Brother Rich probably could answer that better than I could.
That is an absolute fact. That young man, that school that young man goes to in Dallas has educated him well. That's an absolute fact. That's a fact, young man. Fact. You spoke fact.
I got a question too.
Brother Richard, I'm cutting your mic off. Do it again here. Do it again. Go ahead, Nasir.
Who in the NBA do you know today that can do that, or that takes the time to do that?
Nobody.
Not LeBron James.
Don't. This ain't. Listen. This is not about LeBron and not Kyrie.
Young man, you can look all around Dallas, Texas, where you are, and you will not find another player able to do that.
Okay, Brother Rich, you just going. This is just your moment. That's what this is. Huh? You Captain Underpants now? Cut it out, man. No. Yeah. Well, he said that's absolutely.
I think another testament to Kobe's greatness as a player is the fact that when you look at his career and his body of work, you can look at the moments, perhaps of the misses, the missed opportunities, right? And despite the missed opportunities, he has a complete body of work that those opportunities, meaning the NBA regular season MVPs that he didn't get, or the finals MVPs that he didn't get, or the finals appearances that he didn't get, or the finals losses. None of those things would have made his career made his career any more complete. You see what I mean? Even for his contemporary, I understand it's not about LeBron James, but we can always, or even Steph Curry. You can look at moments that you kind of think that, these opportunities are going to be ones that will help define or shape his legacy or critical moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, with all of his, the only other player I think right now, Tim Duncan, you can say the same thing about him, but not in the same way that you can with Kobe, because for what it's worth, Tim Duncan was a leader. And Spurs is my favorite team, but Tim Duncan, his leadership role changed, and it changed the way he played the game. But Kobe Bryant, his was consistent. And again, there's no accolade that he could have gotten that would have made his legacy even more complete than it already is. That's a testament of true greatness.
That's for sure.
That's the great thing about Kobe, though, is the amount of work he accomplished. And in the last 6 seasons, he was injured 4 of them, and he still has records that are just now being broken that were held for years. So it's like, imagine if he actually got to play all 6 of his last seasons in the NBA. He probably would still be 3rd in all-time scoring. He'd have more assists.
Right.
He'd still be number 1 at
right.
most assists by a shooting guard. Like, Kobe's records would be unbreakable if he played all 6 seasons, all of his last 6 seasons, instead of just I think he got like 2.5 out of his last 6 due to injury.
Yeah. That's good stuff. That's real good stuff. Especially in what I'm gonna go back to what Dre said when we started this off. He said it's DNA. You know what I'm saying? It's DNA. Do not apply if you ain't ready to go put some work in. You can't be talking about I'm going to the gym to put work in, and all you're doing is working on your 3-point field goal percentages or whatever, and you ain't working on free throws and drop steps and all that other stuff. Man, that dude worked on. I would say as far as I can't even say Kawhi even come close. I mean, Kawhi puts in work for sure, especially on the defensive end. But Kobe was just he was just different, man. He was just different. Double J, we're gonna come to you on this one. I want to ask
point something out really quick.
Yes, go ahead.
Let's hear it
I
from the
just wanna
Dallas
point
fan.
out specifically with one thing that has been not forgotten, but hasn't been mentioned yet, is how he rejuvenated the U.S. basketball team,
Right,
the Redeem team,
right.
and
That's true
he
talk right there.
wouldn't. Again, in that, to your guys' point a moment ago about just the DNA and the way that he was wired, what he had witnessed, he wasn't willing to, not on my watch. And he had the power of influence, not over just us as enthusiasts, but to those that shared the same, floor with him or competed against him. If anything, he's really showed those guys how to really carry the torch and be the face of the league, and will be, I think someone that you'll watch videos for generations to come. But the only negative I'll point out here is that I do wish he would have won the MVP award. I believe it was in 2005 or 2006, when Nash went, I believe, back to back.
Yeah.
And I think the first year specifically, I didn't feel that Nash really deserved it. But again, there's a reason. Yeah,
I was going to say
that's the one gripe I have.
Yeah, but the year Nash won it, the first one, wasn't that around about the same time that he was going through with the court case and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was. I feel like that's the only reason.
It was the season. It was the season after that. It was the season after that.
But Nash won it back to back.
That's close enough.
Yeah, that's
right.
It is. But
Nash won in 2005 and 2006.
Right.
But
so
that 2004, 2005 season, that was the first season that Shaq was with the Heat, and that was so that was after the whole trial and all of that news.
Okay, but it was 2006 when the trial and stuff was over, right? Somebody help me out. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It had already been resolved prior to.
Right.
But it was, again, he was turning the page on that. But from a voter perspective, you got to remember. Unfortunately, I don't really want to speak too much on that particular chapter in his life specifically, but in the mind of the voters, I would have to imagine that may have influenced it when maybe it shouldn't have.
Okay, well, listen, I'll say it for you. It did.
I totally agree.
It did influence, and I'll tell you why it influenced. We've seen other cases where the voters it's subjective. That's why I don't really get hyped about Heisman trophies and Hall of Fames and all that. I mean, I'd be glad for the fellas, that the ones that do get in. But as far as the voters are concerned, man, they can kick rocks. As far as I'm concerned, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. Shouldn't have took Terrell Owens 3,000 years to get in the Hall of Fame. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Because what are you basing it on?
Yeah.
You understand? If especially in the case of Terrell,
because I'm gonna tell you, James,
it's based off if they like
they're
you
not objective.
That's what
it's it's because they're not objective, man. They go based on their feelings. Because
right.
I remember that one particular season when he should have won it. One of them seasons they said I can't justify giving the MVP to somebody who's in the 7th or 8th seed or something to that effect. But yet, that's why I said when they like you, it's a part. When they don't, it's a ball spot. Because they turned around and gave Westbrook the MVP just because he averaged a triple-double. But where was his team at? In the AC.
Nowhere.
Right.
It was they were the same place where the Lakers were at, but they gave it to him and they didn't give it to Kobe.
Yeah.
That's my point, man. It's like when they like you, man, it's a part, but when they don't, it's a ball spot, man. Because for someone to say, nah, we can't justify giving the MVP to somebody that's in the AC, but then turn around and give it to somebody that's in the AC.
Yeah, and you know the problem with
You know
that.
what I'm saying? So
The hold on. The problem with that is when they do like, and I'm with you, Bone. They're not objective. They are subjective and selective. And if you're subjective and selective, you shouldn't have a vote. Because again, I ask the question all the time: what are you basing it on? If you're saying that the criterion is you got to have 5,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and then a guy, and again, let's just say your criterion is 7 things on the criteria list to get into the Hall of Fame. I'm just picking a number, all right? Might be more, might be less. I don't know. For whatever Hall of Fame, hockey, I don't care what Hall of Fame it is. It's a criteria. The people who vote on it. So a guy meets all of them, and you say no. Man, come here. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you behind this woodshed right quick. Let me come on, right now. Yeah, let me holler at you right quick. Yeah, because you don't have no business voting. The same folks, and then in the part that really, really bothers me is when the guys that do get in versus the guys that don't get in. Most of the fan bases pick up on that, and that's what they use in their debates. You get what I'm saying? Well, he ain't get in. He ain't get in right. No. That ain't. But you was based on some crookedness anyway from the beginning. See what I'm saying? I want you to tell me based on your assessment, should he have gotten in? Yes or no? You feel what I'm trying to tell you? Listen, Arnold Rothstein is all up and through sports since 1919 in this Black Sox scandal. The man said to y'all, we can fix anything but the weather. I don't trust none of this stuff is completely left up to chance. It's fun to watch the ball go in, the guy dribble left, dribble right, pull up. That's all fun. But, man, I'm not as vested. Once Kobe and Duncan was gone from the scene, I'm not as vested. I'm just not as vested as I once was. You know what I mean? And in large part, again, because I cannot sit down and watch a game from tip-off all the way through the end and say to myself, man, this game is still hanging in the balance at the end like I could when we was growing up. I'm sorry. Was my era better? Yeah, it was. Are these guys more talented? Okay, I'll give you that. But, yeah, it was better played. Much better. I watch a WNBA game. No offense to the ladies, to the fellas, no none of that. I watch a WNBA game with Sylvia Fowles and Angel McCautry, for the Dream before I watch some of these NBA teams. I'm just saying, that's just me. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, Cole, man, he was the last. He was the last as far as I'm concerned. Well, I mean, I like Kawhi. I'm not gonna lie, but Kobe, he embodied everything, man. When I watched that dude, I'm like, ooh wee, you don't want to move. And my son said it a little while ago. You don't want to move, man. You don't want to move. Double J, we coming to you with this one. And this, it took me a minute to write this one out, man. I wasn't sure how I was gonna word this question. But here it goes, man. And then we'll go around the room, so to speak. Is this the biggest tragedy in sports, to the best of your recollection, Double J?
Honestly, and it's no disrespect to any that have happened, that came before us.
True.
And, God willing, there won't be any after. The reason I'm going to say yes is because of timing.
Okay.
Again, as Shaq and maybe even to our knowledge, we all realize that most of the stars that we idolize, even if their passing was untimely, they were older.
Right.
In age.
Gotcha.
And if they weren't, they unfortunately hadn't achieved either the level of success on any sports, any particular sports landscape. And so because of this, this is a worldwide, there was this type of thing. I'm going to say no. That this is definitely the biggest one that's ever happened. Simply put, when you see basketball courts with murals of him being in the Philippines, and you see soccer players in the middle of their game, when they go out of their way to bury one in the back of the net, following hearing the news at halftime, and throw his number up in front of the cameras and point to the sky.
Yeah.
Taking moments of silence everywhere, making front page news everywhere globally. That usually happens when you see a political figure or somebody in the music industry, because music is generally viewed as universal.
Right.
And Kobe transcended. That's why I really hone in on he was bigger than basketball.
For sure.
And so I am absolutely going to say, yes, it's the biggest tragedy that we've seen.
All right. Doc, we coming to you. Same thing. This is the biggest tragedy in sports.
I agree with Double J on that one. Like he said, it's just the timing of it all. Like LeBron was saying, I was just talking to you on Sunday, and out of nowhere this happens. Like nobody expected this. I could see if he was sick, that would give people time to prepare for it. I could see if he was older, that would give people time to prepare for it. But it's just to happen at the drop of a dime. It's like, what in the world? What nobody was expecting. It's like literally nobody saw this coming.
Yeah, for sure.
And he was respected on a global level, like more than just basketball. Like Kobe was more than just a basketball player to a lot of these athletes. And regular people like us, he was more than just a basketball player. And to lose a role model that's that important to a lot of people's lives can have some effects. And there's people that still to this day that can't watch a Kobe highlight without crying. I mean, heck, me too. I mean, I tear up every time I look at one. Or it's just no way you can, put a feeling or words on this loss.
Yeah, for sure. Gully, same thing to you, man. Is this the biggest tragedy to the best that you can recollect, or the best of your recollection in sports?
Because of its impact. I mean, consider this: that we're talking about a retired basketball player, 5 years removed, 5 years removed from the game, but his impact is if he was still suiting up.
Good point.
So that definitely, I don't know if a sports tragedy, a tragic loss, a sudden one. I mean, we've had players pass away during the season. I mean, think about rest their souls, Malik Sealy or Bobby Fields,
Reggie Lewis.
As great as they were as human beings and all, I guess on the sports landscape, people really felt a connection to Kobe Bryant because of their love of the game. So it's almost like your love of the game, fandom, your love of the Lakers, or your love of a team that was a Lakers rival, your love of basketball, your love of sport, was definitely tested through this loss. So I definitely feel like in my history, this is one of the biggest sports tragedies that I know of.
For sure. Brother Rich?
I'll just follow up on everything that everyone has said and certainly agree with them and add only this. Since the passing of Len Bias, the sports world has not been rocked like this by the death of any athlete.
Wow, gotcha.
And so that's why I would say this is the greatest tragedy in the history of sports.
Gotcha.
The other thing that you have to factor in, and you all have factored it in, and everyone has touched on it on this broadcast tonight, and that is the fact that there were other lives, there were other individuals, but especially, and I do say especially, his daughter, who we all began to identify with over the last several years because of her investment in basketball, his investment in women's sports, his investment in girls basketball, and certainly recently, they becoming a meme that everyone was sharing and using as he was teaching that beautiful young lady the finer points of the game, and to know, oh, she's learning the game from her dad, and we could all see the joy in both of them, he with her and she with him. And so when you factor in those elements, and then you factor in that there was a family on there that is distraught, that is bereft, because the mother and the father and the child have left two siblings behind. And then you have another coach, the young lady that was a coach. So when you factor in that, there is nothing on the scale of this that has touched humanity, certainly, but the sports world in general that is as tragic as this.
For sure. Dre, I'm gonna let you say something. I'm gonna let you answer that question too, and then Nasir you. But before y'all, either one of y'all do, I just want to say that me personally, I don't have no proof. I'm just maybe a little bit biased in this regard, but I think Kobe had a huge hand in why the WNBA, their salaries increased and so on and so forth, and all the monies that finally came their way that they couldn't get 10 minutes before that. I personally believe that. I do, but I digress.
I agree with you, bro.
I think he had a lot to do
I
with
agree
it. I
with
really
you.
do. So, Dre, we coming to you again. Is this the biggest tragedy in sports,
Hey,
man?
man, I truly, everything that I was going to say has already been said, man.
Gotcha.
So that's a double yes on my
your end.
on my end, man. And everything that I was going to say has been said. And Brother Richard added on the fact that it was other people involved, man. Just on the scale of humanity and the whole nine, man.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, man, it is in my lifetime, and I'm 53.
Got you. Yeah, for sure. Nasir, you haven't been here on this earth that long, but long enough that I could ask you the question as well. Is this the biggest tragedy, do you think, that you can recall in sports?
If we talking about all in history of NBA, I'm gonna be honest and say no, but yes, because I think the biggest tragedy in NBA history either would have had to be in Wilt Chamberlain or on his way to the NBA, Len Bias, because it's not so much about who they. Well, I guess you could say it's because of who they was and who they were as a basketball player. I just think that everybody. I just think that everybody really didn't see. Well, for Len Bias in general, they didn't really see his full potential. That's why I think that it's not. I'm trying to think of how to say this.
No, you good. You good.
I gotta.
You good. You good. I know it's your first time really being on the air live like this, man. So I get it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can be a little.
All the way from Dallas.
No.
Oh my God. Anyway, it can be a little unnerving, but we get your point, man. We do. We get your point. But I want to say this to you though, right quick. Where's your brother at?
Khalil is upstairs on the phone.
Go get him and get him down to the phone. He said he wanted to say something. Go get him and get him down to the phone. And while you doing that, we're gonna go.
Well, he did say he wanted to say something.
Okay, well, go get him. I don't have all the time in the world, boy, and we got other people on the line here. Go get him.
Khalil.
Y'all, this is what I deal with. I deal with the Dallas Cowboys, Richard Stefanski.
Dad. Call.
Richard Stefanski. But fellas, here's another one. And Brother Rich, we will actually come to you on this one.
This is like Jerry Jones calling into to Jason Garrett.
So it is.
Well, at least it's not Joey Haslam calling in to Richard Stefanski. You know what? We won't come to Brother Rich, and we won't come to Double J. Their mics have been muted for the remainder of the program. Okay? I just want to let y'all know. They can listen, but they cannot speaketh. You understand what I'm saying? They cannot speaketh. Gully, we're going to come to you. Double J and Brother Rich, they in timeout right now. How will his legacy be written? Kobe's. Gully, you there? Wow. Nope. I don't know what happened to him. Well, we dropped it. Sometimes it happens. That's technology for you. All right, Brother Rich, I guess we will.
He's protesting.
Yeah, he's protesting. Yeah, the silence of the lamb chops. Yeah, Brother Rich, we will come to you. How will his legacy, Kobe's legacy, be written?
I think he's going to be written that his period of the NBA was the period that reintroduced or introduced Mamba mentality. This mentality, this attitude that carries the individual through, that you can measure activity, you can measure passion, you can measure commitment to whatever field of endeavor it is, by Mamba mentality. Today, everyone is shooting a piece of trash, paper in the trash can, saying, Kobe, I did several times.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a young man who touched us very personally, very deeply. We all could identify him in some way.
But
so
Brother
his
Rich,
legacy is absolutely going to live on, and it's going to, yes.
Let me stop you just for a second, because you just made me think of something. Out of all the backyard kids that play ball in the backyard now, or as far back as you can remember, well, not as far back, but just say now, okay. The only two players I ever heard guys mention when they do that 3, 2, 1 countdown and take the shot is Jordan and Kobe. And with all due respect to all of the cats, we grew up, Dominique, Mark Price, I don't ever remember being in the backyard saying 3, 2, 1, Mark Price. And I loved Mark Price. You know what I mean? You just made me think of that. Can you all think of another player that when you were as a kid in the backyard whose name you mentioned, and I know it's a few of us on the program that's, carry the 1, subtract the 5, you know what I'm saying? And that's 99, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, man.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
There might be some.
Hold on.
Might be some
one at a time.
lifelong Pacers fans that might say Reggie Miller or Miller time, maybe. You know what I mean? But that would be like a niche because
I
Reggie
don't
Miller
know.
would be as clutch. If you grew up as a Pacers fan.
No.
You're talking about
No.
shots.
No.
Shots.
I hear what you're saying, and it's valid, VALIDDDD. But I'm saying, even if you was an Indiana Pacer fan, a Detroit Piston fan, or whatever fan you was the team you was a fan of, when you was in the backyard, especially when you was playing with your boys and you did hit that turnaround, I don't know if you was saying Miller time. I don't know.
See, you got to hear me again. You got to hear me again. I said it's a niche. I mean, I'm saying if you are come on, think about it like this. If you think about it.
Listen, I was a Cavs fan.
Ever happened in his career?
Hold on,
Reggie Miller is the 8 and 8.
Okay, listen, ain't nobody. We're not disputing that. I'm saying to you, I was a Cavs fan, and when I played in the backyard, Jordan. Whatever your favorite team was, you had your favorite player on your favorite team. No disrespect to him or them, but in the backyard, when you hit that turnaround, you were saying Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
For me, it was Gervin, man. When I was little,
okay,
it was Gervin or Dr. J.
Okay, there it is. That's fair. I'm just saying.
Understood.
But you gotta remember, Dallas didn't have no team, so he was.
This was pre-Jordan, man. Pre-Jordan and Magic Bird. And, Magic and Bird now.
Yeah.
Well, I think you asked a question, I mean, and technology got the best of me. But as far as his legacy, if it's not already been stated, definitely the ultimate competitor.
Okay.
The competitive nature, the ultimate competitor, the ultimate testament to meeting you at your best and being better no matter what, and aiming to be better, not aiming to be better, even if let's say by all accounts I'm by all accounts, I'm an underdog. I'm physically not as strong. I'm not as tall. I'm not as fast. None of that matters. When you think about Kobe Bryant, you think about the ultimate competitor and having no excuses for not executing or not doing what it is you need to do to win. Like that's something that is going to define his legacy. It defines his career. The idea of Mamba mentality becoming a philosophy that's almost worth studying for in an intellectual sense and in a philosophical sense, the way that throughout history, Bruce Lee's excerpts from his quotes, famous quotes and philosophies are studied from a philosophical level. Kobe Bryant is that for our generation. He is my Bruce Lee.
Yes, well said. And I'll say this right quick. For me, consummate professional. That's how long it's going to be written for me. Consummate professional. The man, again, his testament to his craft, man, was rare. I'll say that. Yeah. Who went?
Hey, Dad, I want to say this. Here's something that's very underrated. about his work ethic is that when he was 17 years old, before he was drafted, he worked out with other prospects in front of Jerry West and others and blew them out of the water naturally. Jerry West basically said, I hope that we don't have to draft any of those guys.
Yeah.
And take it a step further, when he brought him back again, the second workout, he also brought arguably one of the top 10 defenders in NBA history in Michael Cooper, who was recently retired. And Kobe ate him alive, to the point where Jerry West is on record as saying, you retired at the right time.
Yeah, because Kobe was...
This is a 17-year-old.
Yeah, because he was coming to get
Hey,
it.
Dad.
Yes. Now, so you got to wait till I come. I call you. I'll call you out. But go ahead. I'll let you do that this time. Go ahead. What you saying?
No, I got Khalil on the line. He finally want to say something.
Okay. Well, put your brother on the phone, but he can't. Khalil.
Yes, sir.
This is not the time to act like you cool, man. You and Brother Rich, y'all killed me with y'all. You and Brother Rich. I'm gonna come to you in a minute. What?
Nothing, man. Keep talking. I'm listening.
Okay, be quiet for a minute. I got to go to somebody else for this question. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Dre. How will his legacy? How will Kobe's legacy be written?
Man, I swear, man, when I be on mute, man, y'all be speaking vicariously, man. So everything that's pretty much has been said. You know, it is really not too much I can add, man.
Yeah, it's all good. But isn't that
not
interesting?
Too much I can add, man. I mean, it's his relentless, the relentlessness.
Yeah.
And you know, and the killer in his DNA, man, is unmatched, man.
Yes, that's for darn sure.
It's unmatched, and it's something that these guys need to take heed of and try to acquire, man. You know, a lot of times it's in you or it ain't, but you know, it's something that they should strive for, man. You know, seeing that everybody recognizes that, like Brother Richard said, man, the Mamba mentality doesn't just apply to basketball. It's a mental state that can apply to your work, your job
every day.
You know, anything that you're doing that you're trying to excel at and you're trying to be great at, you gonna have that mentality. So it doesn't just apply to, you know what I'm saying, just to sports or basketball, man. And that's his mentality. That was in his DNA, and that's, you know, that's just it's applicable to whatever it is that you do to try to be the best at. You know what I'm saying?
That's for sure.
And I really don't, man. It's just I can go on and on and on about that guy, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, y'all pretty much said it all, and I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, it's all good. Doc, we're coming to you next, man. How will his legacy be written?
Say it again. I can't hear you. Fading in and out.
How will his legacy be written?
Oh man, it's hard to say because, like I said, it will never be another like Kobe. Like never, ever be another player like Kobe to touch the floor. And he was the first person in the gym, the last person out of the gym. Broke finger, torn Achilles, it didn't matter. Kobe gonna play till he can't walk if that's what it takes to beat you. There's no way you can top that at all.
And you know what, too?
You know,
I don't think it was the same game. I know he hit the free throws with the torn Achilles, but it was another game. And again, here it is. I haven't seen your moments, so bear with me. Where he missed 2 free throws. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if he needed both to win the game or one. Had he hit one of 2 to win the game, if that made any sense right there. But I know this: when the reporters after the game, when the game is when the game is over and everybody done left the arena and they start dim the lights a little bit, but, you know, the guys be on the floor doing the sweep up or what, you know, sweeping up the ball boys, whatever. Somebody be cleaning up the court, you know, getting the empty cups and all that stuff. This dude was still at the free throw line.
Right.
He was still at the free throw line.
Fact.
Who doing that?
Kobe would leave the gym till he took 100 shots.
Fact.
Who doing that, man? Everybody gone. It's over. Let's go kick it. Let's go party. See what I'm saying? But see, here's the deal, people, for all y'all out there that's listening, not necessarily the folks that I got here on my panel today, but the folks that's on my panel today, including my son, every last one of them got that same attitude and approach. That's why they on here today. They understand. Dre, when he DJing, he put the work in. When Brother Richard doing his community service, he putting the work in. And Doc, I don't know you that long, but Doc, I mean, you know, they don't call you Doc for nothing. Double J, Mr. Marketing Man.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And my son that we have here today, well, the oldest one, the youngest one that was just on, that's who that was, Nasir, an artiste. Countless hours drawing, putting pictures and stuff up on the wall. It's just an approach you got to have, man. Because again, I got more time behind me than I do in front of me. So while I got the time, you know, and the people at work, man, some of them, they be like, man, you always here early. Man, I'd rather be a half hour early than a minute late. Time, you cannot get it back, man. That's what the gist of this is. That's what I'm left with. Okay? This man saying, look here, this passing has said to me, look, man, you gotta do it now. You gotta do it now, man. What you waiting on? What's the old adage? You know, why put off for tomorrow what you can do today? Come on, man. Do it today. Otherwise,
I'm gonna tell you something that's applicable. To Kobe, man. That's profound. It's something that Jay-Z said, and it's something that I'm noticing right now, and it's unfortunate because he's passed away. But Jay-Z said maybe you'll notice this when I no longer exist. And there's a lot of people, man, that spoke venom on my man, or maybe not so kind words, but now they got so much good stuff to say. Or now that they seeing everybody else with all this good stuff to say and all of his philanthropic activities and all of the good stuff that he did and contributions that he made. Now they seeing all of the good stuff that they, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They want to chime in with good things to say when they didn't have it. But that's the whole thing of maybe you'll notice when I no longer exist.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm seeing that, man. I'm seeing that.
Let's follow up on that. Because you can go on social media the night before this man passed away, the kinds of things people were still saying about him. I call Kobe Bryant the most disrespected superstar in the history of the NBA because you're talking about people who regularly mention the top 5 players and never mention Kobe. They don't mention the fact that Kobe got 5 rings. They don't mention that Magic Johnson calls him the greatest Laker of all time. They don't mention the fact that every modern-day player, and you're seeing it now, sees Kobe Bryant as their star, as their hero. Not LeBron, not Magic, not Michael Jordan. They see Kobe as their star. People, and then you have reporters who can't bounce a basketball that say this man is not in the top 20. The disrespect this man got before he passed is ridiculous. And that's why I want to say it's the difference between being a Kobe fan and being a basketball fan. Because you have to defend his honor in the face of all of this nonsense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure. Slow down there, Stefanski. All right? I don't want you to go.
But you know what I say, Brother Richard? This is what I say. I say this, man. And see, the thing that matters most to me is the people that play the game and the people that play the game with them and against them. And what their opinions matter more to me than somebody with an ink pen or just something to say.
Right.
You know, like you said, these guys can't dribble a basketball, but they have an opinion. But the guys that got out there and laced them up and played against them and played with them is the ones that matter most to me. And their opinions differ from the guys that's just talking.
Yeah.
But be careful. They got out there and did it.
But
you got grown men saying, I can't play tonight because my mentor is gone. You got grown players coming out and admitting, I grew up watching. I had loved Kobe. He's a hero to me. And you're telling me this is not one of the best players of all time? You're just going to dismiss him and say he's not even in the top 10?
which is again
Mm,
is
oh, he's in
why,
top 10 for sure.
which again is why I always ask, whenever we're going to have a conversation in regards to any player or whatever the case may be about that player, what are we basing it on? If you're basing it on speculation and hyperbole and how you feel that day, then go over there to the water cooler and talk to them cats over there, eh? Okay, because you're not going to get that here. All right, Khalil, I know you want to say something because Kobe was your boy too, man. How will his legacy be written?
Yeah. Truthfully, the whole Mamba mentality mindset that he had, now that he's gone, I hate to say that, it has a whole different meaning to it now. Not only most people relate that Mamba mentality to just basketball, but now his whole message was you can apply that to life in general. Whatever you're doing, make sure, okay, yeah, I might feel tired, but I gotta keep going. You know what I mean? His whole message was to always want better for yourself and to never settle. And I think that something like that lasts a lifetime. You know what I mean? That can apply to older people, younger people. And it's just sad because, our parents, what I mean, the older generation, they grew up with Mike, with, Scotty, Bird, Magic, all of them, Kareem, and everybody like that. But Kobe was our Jordan. You know what I mean? That's what we looked up to. That's what we wanted to be like, playing in the backyard. And from some to just shooting a paper ball in the trash can, saying Kobe, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So to see him go out like that is sad, but I think his whole message was always want better for yourself, never settle, regardless of how tired you are, how drained you feel. Take that extra step. I think that'll last a lifetime. Not just for me, but I think for everybody that can relate to him somehow.
Well said, young man. Well said. Did you do your homework?
Fantastic. Hey, man, are those schools expensive?
Brother Richard, keep it up, man. Doc, you see what I got to deal with, man? And this is not just when we on the program. This is off the air, too, man. He calls me like, Jay, what you doing? Oh, I see you and Jerry rolling. I seen y'all rolling down Ventura Boulevard. I'm like, man, I'm in Cleveland. What is you talking about? Oh, my bad. You look like his nephew. Ah, man, stop it. Yeah, did you do your homework, son?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I'll be the check on y'all. All right, man, you and Nasir, y'all do what you got to do, man. Get in the bed so y'all can get up for the morning. All right, appreciate talking to y'all. I love y'all, man.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
All right, man. Yep, we'll see you. Yeah, man, them was the boys, man. They were good kids, man. Hard-headed, but good kids. But, yeah, back to you, Brother Richard Stefanski.
Yes, sir.
This is one last thing. We lost Gully 2 again. I don't know what's going on here. But one last thing before we get out of here. I want to just go around the table here. We still got Dre, DJ Dre. We got Brother Richard, of course. We got Double J. We got my man Doc, and, of course, me. When I wrote this question or this show note in regards to this, I was not sure that even in writing it, if it made sense, but I wrote it because I needed to get the thought out in my head. So, if any of you all, after asking you this, you have an issue with it or you differ from it, by all means, that's what we're here for, right? But just how important, Brother Rich, and we coming to you on this one now. We're gonna start with you on this one. Excuse me. background noise, please. Thank you. Just how important must the relationship, or should the relationship be between parent and child?
I think it's fundamentally it's the beginning. So fundamentally, it's the most important relationship a person can have outside of your spiritual relationship, if you choose to have one. It is the parent to child. In lieu of a spiritual relationship, it's the first relationship you and I will ever have. And if it's not a good relationship, it sets a foundation, oftentimes a rocky foundation, for what would be the rest of our lives. However long or short it is, it portends most of the prisons. They've done studies on this. Most of the prisons today when they've analyzed the population, there is oftentimes a lack of a relationship with a parent in the population. There's something there that factored in early childhood development that says something was lacking in their relationship with parents. So fundamentally, as human beings, as we've studied ourselves, we have come more and more to the conclusion that these relationships fundamentally in the initial stages of our development, they are important. I close that by saying that's why the schools, obviously, that you've invested in Dallas and your children, they're very, very good because they're very well-spoken, very well-read, and very brilliant young men. So, yes, you're a good father.
You know what? You see, Bone, you see what I go through, man. He do this every week, man. Every week he got something smart to say. That's okay. I hope when you clipping your toenails, one of them.
Man, that was just so very well elocuted, man. I just wanted to add that, Brother Richard.
Dre, don't
Hey,
gas.
you know we family, Dre. You know you ain't got to tell me that. We people.
Don't gas him up, Bone.
Man, I mean, it's just nah, man. I'm serious in 3 heart attacks and 4 stages of cancer.
Yeah, man.
That was that, but the way he said what he said, man, it was profound because I totally agree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The way a person is 9 times out of 10 is because of their relationship with their parents.
Yeah.
The way a woman is affected by the relationship with her dad or her mom. You know, like they say, the first person that they love, the first man they ever love is their dad. You know, that affects their relationships with men going forward. Like you said, however long or short their life may be, it's affected by that, and it will continually be affected by that.
Yeah, you know,
because that's the first relationship you ever had.
You know, when I was in college, man, when I took one of my sociology classes, they had done a study. This was like in the early 1900s when I forget that it's a term for what it's called, what I'm getting ready to say, and I can't remember it. My mind don't go back that far. Yeah, I know. I was sat next to Abraham Lincoln, behind him actually. But anyway, they did a study like in what's the thing when babies are born and they put them in what's it called, the nursery or something or another when they first born. You know, they wrap them up in a blanket. Okay, well, the nursery or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they had the nurses be attentive to let's say it was 20 babies, okay, in this nursery, and they for 10 babies, because they wanted to do this study. So for 10 babies, the nurses gave them round-the-clock care, you know, hugged them, held them, coddled them, you know, all of that. But for the other 10 babies, they did just the bare minimum, change the diapers, whatever. You know, they didn't, let them cry, you know, that type of deal. And they said that in this case study or doing this, that actually was like the early stages of those. And that I think they followed up with the kids later on. A couple of them had, got into trouble with the law and things of that nature, as opposed to the 10 kids that they, was that nurture type deal. Them kids went off to college and went off to do great things in the world. So, I just thought I'd throw that in there, as to, maybe an addendum to Brother Rich's point. But that was a good point, though, Brother Rich. Doc, I'm going to come to you, man. Just how important must the relationship be between parent and child? Or should the relationship between parent and child be, in your estimation?
It is very important. I mean, if you look at stars like LeBron and his kids, I know he's a superstar and his kids playing basketball. But when asked about basketball, you're like, man, we ain't worried about that. We in school, worry about school. We got projects to turn in tomorrow. Then if you look at Zaire Wade and D Wade, same thing. School first, basketball later. But without that parent being there to teach them this first, that later, they would be lost. You know what I mean? Like, who would Zaire be without his dad? Who would Bronny be without Bron? You know what I mean? And before Gigi passed away, I mean, look at what Kobe was doing with his daughter. You know what I mean? He was passing the torch on.
For sure.
But every kid needs to have that. It's that guidance, man. Every kid needs that guidance. I mean, if a kid with no guidance is lost. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Double J, same thing.
It's essential, and I'm not going to to elaborate on as to the importance of one versus the other. It's essential for both because they both have fundamental elements that are necessary in development. I seen something 2 years back that they gathered a group of people.
Double J,
said,
hold that thought. Hold that
Yep.
thought. Don't lose your thought. We got another caller here on the line. Caller, tell us what your name is and where you're calling from.
What's going on? It's Kalen calling back from Flint. What's happening?
What's up, C.A. Lynn? What's happening? What's up, man?
Not a whole lot, y'all.
Man, I wish you'd have got in earlier a little too, man. But it's all good. We still got a little bit of time left, man. Yeah, we've been rolling hard, man, on the Kobe whole thing about Kobe or whatnot. I want to let Double J finish his thought, and then I'll come to you. Okay?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Double J. My bad. Finish your thought, man.
Yeah, in short, the very first thing that they point out is they say, take a step forward if you had both parents. And by the time this social experiment was done, there was a very clear distinction. There was multiple races involved here. I do want to point this out as well. That they were able to identify that each of these individuals were not on a level playing field, and that it was established that those decisions were made before they had any input.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to absolutely answer your question, it is critical to simply be present. That's the beautiful thing about being a parent is that you don't have to financially, provide these kids at between the ages, for example, of 2 to 8 with Xboxes and vacations.
Yeah.
They just want your attention. They want some time.
Yeah, I think they want that all
And
the way
just
up
by
until they're
being
16, 17, 18, 19, too, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? Not until
They want
go
that
out
in
on their own.
Joey's case. They want a Tony Romo jersey.
Yeah. To add to what my man just said, man, it's the presence.
I caught that, Doc.
Instead of a presence with a TS.
Exactly. Say that again. Would
feel
you?
me?
You need to say that one more again for the people in the back, because I don't think they heard you.
It's your presence, not your presence with a TS.
Thank you.
Your presence, being there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We say that all the time.
It's what you do with your presence almost more than anything, There's plenty of parents, even to your point, LeBron included, his father wasn't always in the picture, and I feel like Bronny will be able to surpass him not only because his father is LeBron James, but because he's been able to put in that work too. A lot of times people will spend the rest of their lives blaming a parent for not being there or for a parent being there and being poisonous, but at the end of the day, a parent will still influence you being there or not, good or bad. So it's important for people to, look at being a parent as a privilege. It's not really a responsibility. It's something that you, as a person, really owe it to yourself and your kid to kind of be a positive influence if you're going to be there.
And you know what, Kalen? Now that we got you, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked the other fellas a few minutes ago. In regards to Kobe's legacy, how will his legacy, in your estimation, how will his legacy be written?
I feel like his legacy it was written exactly the way he wanted it to be. He narrated it from beginning to end, and everything he said would happen. He retired at the top of his game. He was in shape. It sucks that he was supposed to be, spending the rest of his time with his family, and it's really unfortunate. But his legacy will be untarnished.
Interesting.
There's nothing you can do to to take away from his basketball career because he ended it, you know, with poise. You know, he ended it. What was his film?
He got the Oscar for it. I'm surprised. Yeah,
Dear Basketball, bro. Dear Basketball.
That, yeah.
Dear Basketball, yeah.
So,
and don't
you know,
and
talk about
let me throw in the detail. Oh, the detail. And if you don't have his book,
oh yeah, don't forget about detail.
Detail is and that I'm gonna miss that, man.
Man, the way he used to break down the game, he would call it before they even ran it. It's like, how did you know?
Yeah, dang, man. Oh, I didn't even think about that till just now. I figured Brother Richard or Dre might, throw that out there, but
no, they got Jerry Jones on their mind. I ain't gonna bring that up.
Okay.
Say it again, James.
I thought you would throw out the little documentary or whatever it is you want to call it that Kobe do called Detail. I thought you or Brother Richard might throw that out there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that too. You know, it's not just, you have people who come along and they change an industry, they change a game, and Kobe was one of those people. So as far as how he'll be remembered, he was still taken from us. He was still young. He still had, a very young family that he was looking to spend some time with, spend the rest of his life with. But as far as what he wanted to give the world, we actually weren't going to see too much more of Kobe. I don't think, he was going to be spending it with people who were close to him. He was going to be spending it with, youth who were going to be in the NBA. He was going to give back to that capacity. So for that, we never saw that, but for what Kobe wanted as far as, I guess, accolades, I think he was looking to more so give back to the people who were, cheering for him.
Yeah.
That's where I think he was at ultimately.
I just want to read a comment here. We were in the chat room. I don't know why. Every time we broadcast, I keep forgetting to take my slider over to the chat room. I leave it in the effects. But anyway, that's on me. But the BS3 Radio, my cat, Ben Suttereth. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Ben. I appreciate you tuning in for the show. He hit us up on the chat, and he said this is the saddest news he's heard in a while. And as I'm sure as him listening to the show, he can, attest. We all are in agreement with that. Excuse me, Ben, for typing the word weighing wrong. But I'm sure you know what I was trying to say there, man. We appreciate you for weighing in as well. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, it's a tough ordeal because, Brother Richard, just like I do, there are certain cultures in the world, not certain, all cultures in the world, especially those of a religious nature, right? That say, regardless of how you feel about a man or felt about a man, good, bad, indifferent, or whatever the case may be. When that man passes, it is mandatory that you pay respect. You know what I'm talking about, bro, Rich? You know what I'm talking about. You understand?
Right.
We pay respect to those who have passed on. We all know it's hey, pray it ain't no time soon. We all know it's an inevitability. Am I saying that right? It's inevitable. But still, man, there are moments when it happened, man, we still people. Huh? At the end of the day, man, we still people. And when certain things happen in our lives, man, or happen in life, we react to them because we're human. We're people. We're people. And I'm telling you right now, man, I cannot. When I saw that name, I'm telling you, my first thought was, man, it's ironic that this guy got a name, Kobe Bryant. How ironic is that? But when I finally saw it was him, man, I was like, what? I was like, man, this dude right here, man. When he retired, I was like, man, I'll still watch the game, to teach my sons, what a drop step is, why you should want to eat from mid-range, why you should want to put yourself in a position to get good shots around the rim. Why whoever telling you that a shot 50 feet away from the basket is a better shot, a higher percentage shot now than a shot 2 feet away from the basket? That's bass awkward too. I don't care how sexy it look and all that other stuff, But other than that, man, my heart just it ain't in it like it used. Now, I would speak with fervor and venom, and we go at it. I know how to dial it up now. Don't get it twisted. Now I can dial it up, but man, making sure all my stuff is everything I got to do is done, so I can get, if I ain't at home already, to hurry up and get home, risking, cutting people off on the freeway or whatever I got to do, so I could go watch that game. That's gone, man. That's gone. It's been gone. That's been gone. Tim left. Dunk left. I told you I'm an underdog. I root for the underdog, man. I root for the guy that did 4 years. No knocking them guys. Hey, I told my son, I said, if you get to that level and somebody offering you a contract, we taking it. You can go back to college later. You know what I'm saying? But then, it was not about just doing the 4 years like a Tim Duncan. It was about the stability, man, and honing your craft. I just can't say that enough, man. I can't say that enough. You know what I mean? Fellas, I want to thank all of y'all, man, for joining me on this program today. I really, really do. I really enjoyed all of the feedback, all of the callers. You know what I'm saying? And my sons as well, man. My cat Kaylin, Double J, of course, Brother Rich, my cousin Dre. Man, you dropped some pearls on us today, man. Doc, as always. And D Gully, of course. I want to thank y'all, man. This was a difficult one to do. You know what I mean? Even though I did what I always do in preparation, putting down a few notes and bullet points and so on and so forth, man. As we've been going through this, man, I've been looking at my notes, and it's like I ain't even looking at my notes. It's like I can't see them, and I got on reading glasses. It's just strange, man. It's just this was strange. But I'm glad we was all able to come here, the few of us anyway. You know what I'm saying, and talk about my man. And he gone, man.
And the dollar school system.
Double J, if you give Brother Richard tickets to a Pistons game, I will personally come to the arena and make sure I get on the Jumbotron board. I'm blasting both of y'all. I'm putting both of y'all on blast. I'm letting you know that now. I'm letting you know that right now, okay? So don't be surprised when it happens. Fellas, once again, I appreciate y'all. All of y'all's input for the day, man. It was one. Brother Richard, is that you again?
Man,
Stop,
I just
man.
want to say, man.
Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead.
Hey, I just want to say, man, Brother Richard, man, it's so good hearing from you, man. It's so good just hearing your voice, man. I got to definitely do a better job. I got to reach out and, man, keep in contact.
Anytime.
Oh, save it.
My man.
Oh, Dre don't get the Dallas Cowboy reference?
Yes, sir.
When Cowboy fans link up. Look at y'all.
See, now,
Look at y'all.
No, I'm just Doc. You don't, man.
Man, that's Dre, man.
Ain't that?
Jersey.
Ain't that, Doc? You don't understand, man. It's been going on for about 12, 14 years, man. You know what I'm saying? This brother Richard, he's a character, man. He really is a character. I'm trying to tell you, man. Yeah, that's all. But we looking for your replacement. I put an ad out in the Sunny Side Up Egg Times. I'm saying we're gonna get good night, John Boy. Good night, John Boy. We're gonna get John Boy up in here next time. You know what I'm saying? And then joining us from NYC, aka Farmersville, John Boy Richard. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was only funny to me. Okay, gotcha. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. You go to the search box and you type in the Shop Report. And please, while you're there, subscribe to our Spreaker.com page. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever you listen to, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast at, and give us a follow. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And y'all know, if that don't work, you hit us up via email to shopreport365@gmail.com. And if that don't work, Google it. For my mans B Rich, Double J, Carlin, my sons Nasir Khalil, D Gully, DJ Dre, Doc, and anybody else I forgot, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop J, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, Mamba out. Holla.
Exactly.